Hey everyone, I mentioned in a previous rant that I'm anti-death penalty, so I figured I'd cover that a little bit. And no, I don't want you guys trying to convert me to the pro-death penalty side. It's just going to cause a quagmire, and to be perfectly honest, it's not going to work. Even the sympathy ploys don't work on me with this, because as far as I'm concerned, the person you're killing is still a human being too. So it kind of goes both ways. I'm not saying, having your child killed isn't sad. It's just this is someone's child as well. So yeah, I have way too much empathy to be pro-death penalty is part of my problem. And don't compare it to abortion or eating meat because you'll get blocked for that because they're not the same thing. My first issue is the obvious one. The death penalty. It says so right in the title. You're killing someone. What if that person does turn out to be innocent? And it has happened. People on death row have been proven innocent. What if we kill an innocent man? Or an innocent woman? I think somebody who was mentally disabled was killed on death row in Texas. I'm sorry, but, that doesn't fucking fly with me. Even if the person is guilty of sin, locking him up forever makes more sense. Because at the very least you could, well, I'll explain alternatives that might be more useful to society in a minute. I just want to explain my reason, but you could actually use them for something, Yeah, I'm not being sympathetic to the criminals. When you hear my suggestions, you're going to be like, holy crap, you're a sick fuck. But, just death is too permanent, alright? Not to mention that, a lot of the death penalty punishments are actually painful, even lethal injection, because they don't use enough for you not to feel you losing your breath or your heart stopping, which would be terrifying. I know it looks peaceful, but the person's actually paralyzed. At least that's what I've heard. I could be totally wrong on that, but still. I'll be flat, I don't like the idea of euthanizing dangerous animals either. I understand if they're really, really, really sick, and even then, I'd rather not do it that way. But, this is how squeaky I am about it. I don't like the idea, and I think it's disgusting. But we'll get back on, well, actually, yeah, it is on track, Another reason is, it's not going to stop the prison overpopulation. There are easier ways that are nice, like legalizing certain things, like pot, maybe? Lowering the drinking age to 18? That kind of thing, Getting the sex laws all sorted out. That kind of thing, stuff like that. There you go. Prison population gets reduced a little bit. Obviously I'm not saying, make it legal to murder someone, because, no. The other thing is, this is such an archaic thing. We're supposed to be a modern society, and a lot of other countries have completely eliminated the death penalty, and America's really far behind. This would be a very easy step to take. Here's another reason. Those death penalty things, I'm not 100% sure if I think I live in a state with the death penalty, which is one of the things I hate about New York. And for people that ask, no, I don't live in the city. I actually live outside the city. I think I've mentioned this twice now. But I think we live in a city with a death penalty. I'm not 100% sure. It was a death penalty city last time I checked. But I absolutely do not like the fact that my tax dollars are going to kill someone when I'm against it. I'm being forced to pay for these things. Yeah, that's not right. So, why not save some tax dollars for the rest of us to do other things and not kill the people? Because all our tax money goes into keeping them fed and clothed anyway. Why force me to kill too? Some people are actually against life in prison. I'm not against that. Some people do need to be locked up for a while. you know, there is such a thing as irredeemable, I'm afraid, and a few people do live up to that. Now, okay, now you're asking, well, what the fuck are we gonna do with them? You know, keeping them locked up is expensive too. I'm not gonna do the cruel and unusual argument because, you know, to be perfectly honest, that should speak for itself. First of all, they've lost their rights as human beings, right? Maybe some non-fatal medical testing? Cheap labor? You know, use them for scared straight programs? You know, maybe do some psychological examinations, get a little more into the head of the criminal. Let's see. Use them to maintain various sites for cheap. You know, obviously have like a few safety regulations and stuff. Don't kill these people on the job. Use them for non-lethal scientific experiments. You know, will this medicine work on someone who has X and a criminal happens to have X? Things like that, you know. Use them for product testing. That would actually be kind of fun. You know, we could actually use these humans for something other than, you know, killing them. You know, it seems... And you could get some money back off of it, too. And I'm sure a lot of people are like, but they're human beings, and didn't you just say, yeah, they're human beings, but once you're in jail, you lose a lot of your rights because you fucked up. So, why not make use of that? And, you know, maybe for some of the people on death row, they probably prefer that. That's another thing psychologically about death row is some people want to die. And you don't allow them suicide. That's the one right I think the prisoners should have, is the right to take their own lives, rather than kill them for themselves. I've actually heard of people purposely getting something they're allergic to and having an allergic reaction to it, getting treated for the anaphylactic shock, and then being killed the next day. Or something like that. This was an attempt at suicide this person did, and it was thwarted so he could be killed. That makes no sense. I know the person's supposed to give medical attention, but if the person's gonna die anyway, let them kill themselves if you're gonna do that. Maybe they just didn't want to give the state the pleasure of killing them, and you know what? I don't fucking blame them. I don't care. Now, there are people who had children killed and stuff, and they go all pro-death penalty, like, I don't want to see this person or another. He's locked up for the rest of his goddamn life. I don't think he's getting out. You know, it's really hard to get parole in actuality. And a lot of these people that are really, really scummy aren't getting out. I'm suggesting basically using their bodies to help other people. You know? I'm coming up with creative solutions here. And I am for life in prison because some people are irredeemable. I will give you an example. John Wayne Gacy. That guy was a sick fuck. Son of Sam. He supposedly converted to religion. Yeah, that's nice. You still are completely out of your fucking mind. It's just, it's contained in prison. I just don't advocate killing people. I mean, maybe some people are redeemable, like they get off drugs and they stay sober and they're not going to do this anymore. That's wonderful. But not everyone's like that. So, yeah, I'm pro life in prison, and besides, it's not the worst thing I can think of, you know. But I'm very anti-death penalty, and you know, I try to avoid using a lot of emotional claims. In fact, the pragmatism I did was kind of my way of saying, look, you can torture him instead, in a sense. You know, and a lot of these things, you know, the prisons could hire them out to do this, and people can get money, and they could get money off it. It'd be an income for the prisons. It's just a thought. Maybe I'll do a legalization of pot rant later. But yeah, talk to you later, guys. Bye!